Hackettstown, New Jersey, a quiet town, bordered by dense woods and the winding Musconetcong River. At first glance, Stevens State Park looks like any other place. Hiking trails, fishing spots, families passing through, but for decades, some say something else has been watching, waiting. Not human, not animal, something tall, thin, with eyes that don't blink. Something witnesses have come to call the Mantis Man. One of the most chilling reports came from a man identified as Paul Jacks. Late summer, in the year 2006, just after sunset, he was invited to go fishing with his boss at the Musconetcong River, a place Paul has never been to before. As he was standing in the river, that's when he saw it. Not human, not an animal, but a humanoid praying mantis-looking being.
I am chest high in the river. The first thing I see was the grasshopper thigh, but bending forward like a human. Then the whole form. He is looking at me over his shoulder, moving up the bank, astonished, amazed.
That's when I saw the movement.
On the bank, something hideous and huge.
When I first saw the creature, I was like, what the heck is that? This thing had the skin of a snake. Where our abdomen is and where all our organs are, it had a very narrow core. The creature's eyes were black, very large, but set in the front, so it had binocular vision.
And those insect eyes had Paul in its sights.
This thing seemed to be very concerned with me. I sensed astonishment, whether it was because I was in the water, whether it knew that I could see it. It was very aware that I was aware of it, and that seemed to concern it because it never took its eyes off of me. It was moving up the bank away from me, but looking back over its left shoulder directly at me.
Paul Jacks, time stood still, and when the clock ticked again, the creature transformed.
This thing was fading very quickly as it moved up the bank, and all that time never took its eyes off of me. It was 1, 2, 3, gone. It vanished completely, but I'm sure that it was still there.
Paranormal investigator Lon Strickler, known for documenting unusual encounters on phantoms and monsters, collected multiple reports from the Hackettstown area. While there are no publicly confirmed official police records describing a mantis being, several witnesses claimed they contacted local authorities after encounters. One anonymous report described officers arriving, searching the area, and finding nothing. No tracks, no disturbances, no explanation. Strickler noted patterns across multiple reports: sudden silence in the environment, mechanical or electrical humming, temporary paralysis, missing time. Another witness, Joe Parenti, described a similar encounter while fishing with his brother at Stevens State Park. He reported a vibrating sensation in his right ear, a pressure in his chest, and then a figure watching him from a distance. And then he saw it, over 7 feet tall, thin, angular, with brown and black scale, bent at unnatural angles, seemed to be feeding on something. Mandible-like mouth moving up and down, its head triangular like a praying mantis.
It wasn't aggressive. It was observing, like I was the experiment.
I caught from the corner of my eye a creature that was 7 feet tall, brown and black scaled.
This giant mantis man was feeding on some kind of prey. Joe had interrupted its meal.
To my amazement, I saw a humanoid 7 feet tall, looking down at me, but yet with the head to the tilt, moving its mouth.
A monstrous mouth, straight out of a nightmare.
I was so scared. I was so damn scared.
It was about to get even scarier.
To see those mandibles moving up and down. And I said, there's no way that could talk to me. And then I realized this is no joke. It turned to sheer panic. When I saw the mantis man, I was so scared. It was the eyes. His dark eyes were just so intense. I believe it could kill me.
Joe tried to move. He couldn't. His body locked. Frozen.
It felt like something was inside my head, not talking, but showing me things. Images. Flashes. Not memories. Not dreams. Something else. Like extracting information from my mind. Then, gone. The figure vanished. Into the fog. No sound, no movement, just gone.
It looked like it had wings, and it opened out and opened up its chest. The creature showed me the width of its chest and how strong he could be, and that was completely terrifying.
A normal praying mantis, when threatened by a predator, will spread its wings. That was caught like prey, mesmerized.
I was getting the sense that this creature was sucking information right out of me before I was even thinking it. Wake up!
Finally, the mantis released its hold on Joe's consciousness.
And there was a fog and that kind of came through, and it was nothing but steam, and then it cleared and gone. I couldn't control myself. Then I lost grip of my bodily functions. So.
Other witnesses claim, when the mantis man is nearby, phone battery dies instantly, or begins glitching, camera wouldn't function, watch stop ticking, time skipping, or even appearing to run backwards. One of the most disturbing accounts is tied to an area referred to as Devil's Den State Park. In Arkansas, a witness named Terry Lovelace and a friend were camping one night, and he described what many consider an abduction experience. He reported, in the middle of the night, they were taken aboard a spacecraft. Inside, Terry was paralyzed, but awake and strapped to a medical table. On the ship, he saw several different types of aliens. The typical small gray aliens were there, but they weren't in charge. They worked for the Mantis.
There was a mantis-like being with a triangular head and huge, slanted black eyes. It had an insect-type mouth. I was screaming. It turned a guy close to my head, and I could hear him clearly in my mind, like any spoken word. He was annoyed. He said, "Why are you screaming? Stop screaming. You know we don't hurt you. We take you back. Stop screaming."
Across reports, the Mantis Man is described with consistent abilities, telepathy, witnesses report, receiving images instead of words, thoughts not their own, emotional manipulation, paralysis/control, full body immobilization, loss of motor control, inability to speak, cloaking/disappearance, vanishing instantly, blending into surroundings, appearing and disappearing without movement, electronic interference, phones shutting down, cameras malfunctioning, batteries draining instantly, watches behaving abnormally, environmental effects, sudden silence in nature, vibrations in ground, or air pressure changes. Unlike the two stories from Paul Jacks and Joe Parenti on Monsters and Mysteries in America, there was, in fact, another sighting of the Mantis Man. The police report tells that another person, Mr. Strickler, which I guess he has the same last name as Lon Strickler, but anyway, saw the Mantis Man on a riverbank.
I saw something strange a few weeks ago on the Musconetcong River, near my home here in Hackettstown, New Jersey. I was driving home from the drugstore on Newburgh Road. As I drove near the bridge over the river, I noticed to my left something. I thought a fisherman standing in the river, just off the south bank. I slowed the car and looked closer. It wasn't a person, and it was transparent-like, with a weird shape. It was tall, 8 feet or so, and had long, thin arms hanging off of it. The color was a pale brown, but I could see through it. The head was small compared to the body. It was sunny that day, so I thought it may be glare from the water. But after I thought back, I realized I wasn't seeing a mirage or glare. I checked the internet and didn't see anything about it. I mentioned it to a coworker in my office. At lunch on Wednesday, he gave me the strangest look.
Another noteworthy message posted on August 9, 2014, from Lon Strickler's website came from a person who believed they had made contact with these creatures all the way back in 1987. This witness adds a new element to these encounters, explaining that
they communicated through some manner whereby they connected to the inside of my head through the brain behind both ears. I got the distinct impression that they were cold and insect-like, logical with very little in the way of emotion or compassion, which frightened me the most. The other impression I got from this was that they believed themselves to be our superiors, like we believe about animals in our world. Whatever they were deciding, it was based on this belief. In other words, for our own good, or the greater picture.
strangely, this isn't the first time humanity has described mantis-like beings. Algerian Sahara cave paintings, dating back over 8,000 years. Cave art depicts tall humanoid figures with insect-like heads. Khoisan rock art, Southern Africa, indigenous tribes describe mantis beings as spiritual entities, teachers, observers of humanity. The word mantis comes from the Greek word mantis, which means prophet or seer, a being that sees beyond human perception. Some researchers point to insect-headed figures in ancient iconography, though interpretations vary widely. So what are these beings? 1. Extraterrestrial theory. Advanced alien species observing humanity. Explains telepathy, technology interference, abduction reports. 2. Interdimensional beings. Entities existing outside normal spacetime. Explains sudden appearances/disappearances. Time distortion. Lack of physical evidence. 3. Unknown Earth species. A hidden evolutionary branch. Less likely, but proposed. 4. Psychological/neurological. Sleep paralysis. Hallucinations. Environmental stress. Explains paralysis, visions, fear response. But doesn't explain multiple consistent witness reports. Fact: Lon Strickler has documented multiple witness reports. Similar mantis-like beings appear in global folklore. Stevens State Park is a real location, with reported sightings. Unverified, official police documentation of mantis entities. Physical evidence, photos, DNA, trace materials, confirmed abductions. Conspiracy claims, government awareness, or cover-up. Hidden extraterrestrial contact programs. Suppressed encounters. No verified evidence supports these claims. In the forests of Hackettstown, nothing has been proven. Nothing has been confirmed. But the stories continue. Witnesses still come forward, describing the same figure, the same silence, the same feeling of being watched. So the question remains, are these encounters misidentified fear, ancient memory, or something still out there, watching us the way we once watched it? Is the mantis man a cryptid, or UMA, an unknown mysterious animal? We heard of the Jersey Devil, the Mothman, Bigfoot, alien greys, lizard people, or insectoids, extraterrestrial beings. I mean, there is still so much in this world we don't know about or understand. Humans tend to fear things we don't understand or never seen before. So why can't the mantis man be real or exist? Whether you believe in the mantis man or not, and if these reports or stories and sightings are all just one big fantasy story or hoax. Either way, they are interesting to listen to and make a good story. Well, friends, that's all for now. If you enjoyed, then why not hit the like button? Leave a comment of any stories or experiences you may have had. And subscribe. Thank you for watching. Be safe, be kind, and we'll see you next time on Project Wake.
Mantis Man secretly roaming the New Jersey countryside?
And maybe you question yourself, did that really just happen? But it did. It was a praying mantis man. That's the only way I could describe it.